Hello, my friends. It's another late recording this evening, but I could panic about it, and we do like a good stress about these things. But the most important thing, of course, is getting the work done. But I honestly believe that the biggest addiction that people have is to drama, is to stress, and it makes people feel really alive and sort of zingy. And do you know what? You can see it in people, political figures, cultural figures. They love never let a good crisis go to waste. But my really big thing, and I'll be honest, it's not an easy thing to do, to learn to relax, to retrain your brain. But peacefulness, joy, these are the things that I have been talking about a lot. And of course, it's not even 3 months since the final split with my ex, and there are still a lot of things that there are major contradictions frankly going on in my brain. But I want to definitely, because human beings, we either move away from something or we move towards something. And I certainly want to move away from this idea that I'm completely to blame for what happened, how the relationship turned out. And of course, I have a certain amount of responsibility, mostly because of the decisions that I made with this man. But I don't regret any of it, because it's all worthwhile, education. We can learn a lot of lessons from it. One of which I talk about a lot is learning to say no. And actually, if you allow yourself to sit in the things, it's like really with modern language, I'm going to sit in my emotions. I'm kind of mocking myself, but it does all sound a bit wanky sometimes. But if you allow yourself to actually bring yourself back down, have a good breath, bring yourself down to earth and say, right, look, this is a recurring issue in my mind. Should I have said that? Should I have behaved in that way? What did I like about the relationship? What didn't I like about the relationship? And allow yourself to even just think of why you did those things, why you subjugated yourself, why you silenced yourself. It can go a long way to being able to reduce the drama, to reduce the amount of anxiety or regret or remorse or guilt, which are really powerful emotions that frankly can dictate the quality of your life. We don't realize just how much the patterns of behavior that we indulge in, how much they can actually affect our day-to-day life. Because if you're constantly stressed and panicked, then you're not going to be able to be present and focused and joyful. You're just not going to be able to do that. And we try and delude ourselves into believing that we can be all of these things at once, but you can't be miserable or regretful and be joyful and free-flowing in life. You can try and persuade yourself, and it is incredible the contradictory thoughts that we that we hold. But for me, we talk about consistency, and often these words they'll be context specific. So when we hear consistency, that only applies to work ethic, working on your business. That's what consistency is, which is true That's one aspect of consistency. Another really important, and I did study philosophy at university that my ex reminded me of constantly. And of course, you have to have consistency in your thoughts. You know, you can't be silencing yourself or avoiding discussions with your significant other or your family or your friends or your colleagues and be an empowered person. You can't be silent and avoidant and have confidence. You can't, if you think about it. And this is what I mean about sitting down and really thinking, okay, well, what was my responsibility? What wasn't I able to control in, or take responsibility for in the other person? Who am I? You see, I think stress can, which believe me, I truly believe that stress is at the root of all disease. It's the first thing that happens, and then we push down, and then suddenly, out of apparently nowhere, pressure cooker goes off, and your life is turned upside down because you've mistreated yourself so much that your own body says, right, no, you've got to stop now. I'm going to give you cancer. I'm going to give you a heart attack, because it's actually it's your body being an alarm clock saying, you've got to sort this out now. I'm not going to give you a chance to kick the can down the road anymore. You're going to deal with this. So everything is signals. And if you are panicked or stressed, it means that you're living out of alignment. You're denying reality. You're not willing to accept the things that you've done and that you are where you are, which is how you get to be more present and more able and more resilient to deal with the things in your life that you're not particularly happy about. You have to do that by being honest. And stress is just about denial. It's just about not being willing to live in reality. That's all it is. It's not actually complicated, but we overcomplicate it because I think that the drama makes people feel alive. And I've certainly done that myself. But when I think of how I want to live the rest of my life, well, it's being self-assured, it's being confident, and it's being able to say what I want and what I don't want. And it's not an easy thing to do. I'm still working through all of these really powerful emotions that I'm feeling after that breakup, after thinking about jobs that I've had and decisions that I've made at various points. I'm putting it all together so it's consistent and that it makes sense. And that's the steps that you take. They are the steps that you take in order to get to where you want to be. Obviously, you have to know what you want, which also requires honesty. But you will only get there if you are willing to accept reality, to have your eyes open, to have your ears open, and start, finally, to listening and acknowledging who you